Hello, citizens of Super Earth. Welcome to this episode of Know Your Enemy. This segment covers the Automaton Menace. After all, we need to understand what they are if we are to overwrite their hostile code and further the goals of Super Earth. It would be my honor to now introduce our resident Ministry of Truth approved automaton experts from CAM Inc., Michael Vargas and Andrew Carnes. Michael, you're up.
Thank you. Here's what you gotta know about a specific species of the automaton menace. A non-deterministic finite automata, known as NFA, is a model used to recognize patterns in strings. It consists of a language, a start state, accept state, all the states in the automaton, and transitions labeled with their input symbols. NFAs are unique because they can have multiple possible transitions for the same input and can include epsilon transitions. An epsilon transition allows progression in the automaton without consuming an input in the string. A string is accepted if at least one path leads from the start state to the accept state. Here are main components you can look for to help identify these automatons. A regular language and a regular expression. Regular languages are built using the three main operations: union, concatenation, and the clean star. Union combines two languages so that any string is like a choice for one string or another. Concatenation joins strings from two languages together in sequence. A clean star allows for a pattern to repeat 0 or more times. Regular expressions are another way to describe regular languages using symbols and these same operations. For example, 0 clean star represents any number of zeros.
Thank you for your report, Michael. Andrew, you're next.
We at CAM have perfected these new strategies in the form of this finely crafted simulation. Now then, let's think from the perspective of one of our divers as we learn how to crack the codes of the automaton defenses. The brave diver in the midst of the automaton territory must use automaton's own language against them, binary zeros and ones. This binary is considered the automaton's alphabet. We'll use it to our advantage. As we enter the metallic monstrosity's chambers, we find ourselves at a three-way crossroads. Two paths require a 1 passkey to enter, while only one requires a 0 passkey. This automaton trick is what gives this conundrum its NFA properties. Let's try both of the side paths first. Seems like we've gone nowhere despite actively inputting data. To recognize these looping halls in the future, we'll use a clean star to represent them. The only choice ahead appears to be the door. Now we've entered the next room. Since we have known choices in room 2, we'll call this a new state. This room contains two options. Interestingly, one of the doors lacks a key card. This will allow us to skip ahead and move to a new state. We'll call this skip an epsilon. Alternatively, we could also take the path that costs 0. Either choice will work. Let's acknowledge this and all past choices we've made with a union symbol. It will be key when we later access the automaton database. We'll insert the 0 card and enter the data room. We have now reached our destination with the code to the automaton scum's database. Something isn't quite right, however. The passcode is still missing some information. Let's look around. Aha! 2 looping paths. In order for us to complete the automaton's language and access the system, we must account for these looping paths with the strategy we've used before, the union. Now, the final language is ready. The automatons will be defeated, theoretically. Now then, let's return to my fellow expert Michael as he shares a kernel of super truth and explains the key takeaways.
In this NFA, Q1 is our start state and has a loop on both 0 and 1. This allows for any sequence of inputs. From Q1, reading a 1 can move us to Q2. From Q2, we go to Q3 by reading a 0 or using an epsilon transition. From Q3, reading a 1 allows us to go to Q4, in which we are in our accept state. Q4 also loops on 0 and 1, allowing for any further inputs. This structure shows that the machine accepts any strings that contain the patterns.
Andrew and Michael, thank you. You have done a great service for the people of Super Earth. To our viewers, we thank you for your undivided attention to this segment of Know Your Enemy. Thank you for choosing Strawman News, approved by the Ministry of Truth. May your day be prosperous and productive, and may liberty guide your hand.